Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new installment of the Wrestling Analyst. Tonight, we're taking a look at what happened on the December 2nd, 2022 episode of Smackdown. Here we go. From Buffalo, New York, and it starts right away with the Bloodline coming out to Sami Zayn's music because he's got a match right off the bat against Sheamus. Now, Sami gets cheered a lot by the crowd. Uh, And there's a little segment before the match where they talk about the match at War Games that they won, and they say they couldn't have done it without Sammy. Sammy was the MVP. Praises for Sammy all over the place. And then Sheamus comes out and says that it's fight night and whatever. So that's the catchphrase of the Brawling Brutes. So for match one, Sheamus would like to avenge the War Games loss. And Sammy wants to start building a winning streak for himself and for his eventual face turn, which I'm sure will happen in the coming weeks, um, to set up something in Montreal. We all know it's coming. But there could be a mishap during the match, maybe misunderstanding, but I don't think so. I don't think those misunderstandings will happen for a couple of weeks, maybe um, not next week, but the other one after that. Maybe something's going to start brewing again, misunderstanding between inside the bloodline. Now, for Sammy, getting a win against Sheamus would be huge because Sheamus is a former world champion, and when you get a win over a world champion or former world champion, that gives you a lot of credibility going forward. So Sheamus getting cheered, getting booed. It's mixed reactions. And I don't know why the Brawling Brutes are now faces. They were heels. Uh, they just like turned out of the blue like that with no explanation. They put them to face the Bloodline at War Games, and that's about it. Well, Sammy wins the match with a sunset flip after Jey Uso, of all people, gives a super kick to Sheamus. So that was to show that everything is fine right now in the bloodline, that they work as a unit, and the bloodline has never looked stronger than since War Games. After that, we go backstage. Kofi Kingston is interviewed, and he says that he's entering the Royal Rumble. So that might mean that there's no more premium live event for WWE. Well, there was one that was still on the website of WWE. The last time I checked was tables, ladders, and chairs, and doesn't seem it's gonna be. Um, it's gonna be. It doesn't seem it's gonna take place because they don't talk about it at all. And usually it's the mid December. So, and they're already starting promoting the Royal Rumble. So I guess we are losing one premium live event in December. And during Kofi's interview, uh, Imperium comes. Well, the two members of Imperium come. They start talking, and then Kofi challenges the Imperium. One of the two is Kaiser or Vinci to a match, and then Gunther appears and says, "You're going to wrestle me. You're going to fight me." So later on, Kofi versus Gunther, and then we have a little segment with Bray Wyatt. Still the same thing. Still promoting. Still the mystery. Still just building the character, and the way they're doing it, I find is brilliant. Uh, he says that it didn't hurt LA Knight, and that if he did do it, there would be nothing left. So, so that's basically what happened in the first part of the show. On to the second match. Match number 2, Shayna Baszler versus Emma. Now, Emma would need a win to start establishing herself, and Shayna needs to win to further establish herself as the new ruthless Shayna Baszler, which she always should have been. But that's another story. Now, Shayna, I love what they're doing with her right now. In NXT, she was so good. She put on some great matches down there, notably with Ember Moon, Kairi Sane. Those are the matches that come to my mind right now from Shayna Baszler. She did wrestle some other ladies, but those were her two biggest rivalries. And of course, Rhea Ripley after that, when she lost to Ripley and came up to the main roster permanently. Shayna wins with the Kirifuda clutch, and then she goes on to tease doing to Emma what I call her elbow destroyer. When she puts the elbow like that and then she stomps on it and the elbow goes like this. That's what I call her elbow destroyer. Shotzi comes out to prevent that, attacks Shayna. Shayna takes the upper hand, gets Shotzi in the same position. Who comes out? Raquel Rodriguez. And then Shayna backs out. And then when she goes in the back, she says it took 3 of them to get me to get out of there. So then there's a vignette with Lacey Evans going to a boot camp in the Marines and saying that she's going back to basics and basic training. So Lacey Evans is getting repackaged once more. What is it now? The 10th time? I'm exaggerating, but I hope that this one is the right one. I still think, until proven wrong, I still think the best version of Lacey Evans we had until now was a sassy Southern Belle. We'll see how it goes. I think that this time around, they want to bring her as a Marine veteran and to make her as a babyface. So we'll see how it goes. On to the third match. So match number 3, Kofi Kingston versus Gunther. Now, a win for Kofi Kingston would be huge because it would give him a chance, an opportunity to have a match for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, Gunther wants to continue his domination over the Intercontinental Championship. Now, at one point during the match, Ludwig Kaiser interferes, and then you see Braun Strowman coming out like a freight train, and he basically chases Kaiser and Vinci out of the ringside area to the back, and that gives us a one-on-one match. And then Gunther wins with his newest finishing move, which he calls the Last Symphony. So Gunther is continuing his path of destruction during his title reign. Then we go in the back, and we see Jimmy and Jay, and well, we see the whole bloodline minus Roman, and Sammy is talking about going out to eat, and sorry, and Jimmy and Jay say, "Well, take Solo with you. He's going to protect you." And when those two leave, you see Jimmy ask Jay, "Did you talk to Sammy about lying to your face?" And Jay responds, "No, but the big oos," meaning Roman, said he saw what he needed to see in Sammy's eyes, so he's basically letting it slide. But we know that this is not over by a long shot. And when they finish this little conversation, they're attacked by Sheamus, who leaves them lying and basically says that maybe Sheamus and Drew McIntyre will come after the tag team titles. Then we have a little segment in the ring with Damage Control. They talk about War Games, how the match did not go as they wanted. And Bayley says that no one on Smackdown came across to participate in the War Games match. And says that they're going to SmackDown to be role models to show what's has to be done. And then Liv Morgan interrupts. And Bayley said that combined they were in the ring for over 90 minutes. I think it was 93 minutes that she mentioned. Liv Morgan interrupts. Basically says, "Okay, it's 1-on-3. Let's go. I'm going for it. It's fair enough." So she goes in, starts battling with Damage Control. Of course, 3-on-1, they take over. And then we see the big return of Tegan Nox. She comes to the rescue, gets overwhelmed, 3-on-1, and Liv comes up with a kendo stick, takes care of Damage Control. They leave, and we have, before they leave, we see Tegan Nox delivering the shiniest wizard. Then we have a little vignette in the back where Karrion Kross and Scarlett are basically doing tarot cards, playing with tarot cards. And Karrion Kross reveals who his next target is, and it's Rey Mysterio. Now, I understand wanting to play on Rey Mysterio's legacy, but, sorry again, wanting to play on Mysterio's legacy and past, but that rivalry will not give Karrion Kross anything much more than another victory in a feud, because Rey is not in the title picture anymore. So anyway, could be interesting feud. We'll see. So on to the main event. So Ricochet versus Santos Escobar for the SmackDown World Cup Finals. Winner of this match will face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, right off the bat, Legado del Fantasma do take advantage of their numbers game, and the referee would have none of it. He just expels the rest of Legado del Fantasma, including Zelina Vega, and they go in the back, so we can have a one-on-one match between Santos and Ricochet. Now, I've seen Santos a little bit in NXT, so I knew that this match would be pretty good. It was a lot more than that. It was a great match. Uh, Psychology wise, storytelling wise, lots of big spots, lots of acrobatics, um, and worthy of a World Cup final. Uh, when they started that World Cup thing, I was hoping they would not do like they did with the last time they did something similar to that, the Best in the World tournament. When at the Crown Jewel, I think it was 2 years ago, Shane McMahon won the thing by replacing the Miz, and it was just so bad. But this time around, I think, and at one point, I really thought it was just a tournament to put Braun Strowman against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm happy to see that they surprised me there, making Ricochet beat Braun last week. So coming back to everything, great match, worthy of a World Cup final. Uh, they the guys put on a hell of a show, and so that's basically it. Uh, I will stop describing matches, how they go or whatever. What we both want to have here is analysis, not a resume of the match. So I'm going to try to stick with my analysis of the results and not describe what happened in the match from now on. Ricochet wins the wins the match with the 630. Now, in my wrestling days, I had somebody that was wrestling in the same federation as me who was doing a 450, and he was doing a pretty good 450 splash. His name was His wrestling name was Black Eagle, and doing a 630, man, that's impressive. Anyway, Ricochet wins the World Cup with the 630, and he then leaves the ring, goes to the area where the cup was, lifts the cup like a championship and everything, and then Gunther's music starts, comes out, meets Ricochet, and basically we don't hear what they're saying, but that Gunther looks at Ricochet like he's saying, well, it makes no difference if you're the number one contender now, or if you get a match against me in 2 weeks, the result is going to be the exact same thing as it was the last time we met. I'm going to beat your ass. So that's it for this episode of Smackdown. Next week is going to be busy. I'm going to have the Raw analysis, of course, but I also have on preparation my predictions for NXT Deadline, which will take place next Saturday, and there's a couple of matches there that are going to be pretty tough to call and to predict who's going to come on top, especially the two Iron Man challenge matches. So anyway, I'll see you. Have a nice evening, and until next time.